Having a terrible time getting the TWSBI ECO to dry out after flushing. Help. Allow me to roll over here real quick because I forgot to grab it. I tried to grab all my pens ahead of time, but I did not do so in this instance. Here we go. And then I need to get the little TWSBI ECO wrench. Okay. So I actually have the same thing going on in my ECO. You can see there, I've even got a little bit of a water bubble in there. It's just part of the design. I don't know, for whatever reason, it just doesn't want to flush all the water out completely. First thing I want to say is that's okay. You don't need to flush out every last drop of water. When I clean a pen, what I'm doing is I am just trying to get the ink out of there. And if I'm changing the color drastically, I'll really clean it thoroughly. But if I'm not changing the colors drastically, I don't try to get like every drop of water out there, because I can even tell this water has got a little hint of blue to it. So I probably could have done a better job cleaning this one. But I'll take a paper towel after I've cleaned it and flushed it out to my liking. I will take a paper towel and I will touch the nib to the paper towel like so, and it'll suck all the water out of the feed. And then whatever water is left in here, honestly, is such a small amount, it's really not going to affect whatever ink you put in here next. It'll just you know, absorb into the water that's there. And again, unless it's like, you know, you really didn't do a good job cleaning it and you're putting in a completely different color, like if you have a black or a blue or something and there's a lot of it left in here, and then you put a yellow in or something, then it might actually affect the color. But otherwise, it's going to be such a small amount of dye that's actually in here, it's not really going to impact whatever the next color you put in. So you don't have to sweat it super hard, but if you do want to clean your ECO out more thoroughly, the nib and the feed can actually pull out of the pen relatively easily. You can take a Q-tip and kind of swab up in here, so that'll help right there. But then you can disassemble the pen. And the way you do that is you take and you put it down like that. You take your wrench that's included, it's actually in the bottom of your pen case, and you turn it clockwise, and then that will unscrew, whoa, lost it. That will unscrew your piston mechanism out of the pen. You got to give it a good number of turns to get it out of there, okay? And then it just pulls right out. And then, I might as well do this while I'm at it. I got some Q-tips here. So then you can just kind of Q-tip out of there. You can get all the water out. You can, you know, if you don't want to Q-tip it, or if you really want to make sure that it's really, really dry for whatever reason, if you want to store it for a long time, you just want to make sure it's dry, you just leave it out. Leave it out overnight and it'll be dry by the morning. And then you go to reassemble it. As long as you leave the piston and everything in the same place, it shouldn't be too bad to reassemble it. But if you need to look that up, I have a video on doing the 540, 580 assembly video, and it's the same concept there. You can take a few tries if you're doing it for the first time, but there you go. So it screws back in okay if you don't move the piston out. And then the nib and the feed can just plop back in there. And I think it can go in any orientation if I remember correctly. But it does have a certain grip to it. So just making sure you put it back in a way that's favorable to you. And that's really about it. And then your pen should be nice and dry and ready to go. Something nice about the TWSBIs is you have the ability to take them apart like that, and they give you the wrench to do so. So